Alright, everybody. We're back. We're picking up at the kind of non-modeled airport out here in eastern Canada. And it's Kuujjuaq. I believe it's pronounced Kuujjuaq. We flew in the Starship in Leg 5. So we flew down in here, and now we're going to grab the HondaJet. As of yesterday, I believe February 19th, the HondaJet is now a 2024 native aircraft. So it's got some implementations that are very cool. We'll start off checking out some of the stuff here. We can check the front baggage compartment. Nothing in there currently. The sounds are modeled. Let's get our covers off. This does feel kind of small from what I recall. Back when I was, what was it? Alt C? No, Shift C? No, that's not the one. Can't remember what my crouch commanded. There it is. Oh, doesn't let me get in there anymore. Okay, that's alright. It's got a rear baggage compartment, which is kind of neat. I played around with it for a couple minutes yesterday just to see how it was. Well, let's hop on in. Alright, I want to check my controls. I didn't set up a unique control setting for this particular aircraft. I was just using my PC24 keybinds, which seem to work just fine. It does have Navigraph integration. It does have SimBrief integration. And from your weights and balance on the in-aircraft EFB, you can do things like close the main door. Right now it's showing open, and it is closed. You've got all your I guess static covers and whatnot are all on the exterior of the aircraft. You can command them from inside here. And then you can set your weight and balance. So right now we've got front cargo 200 pounds. We've got 170 pounds. That's not quite right. That's more accurate. So our CG currently is it's in the green. Takeoff weight is below the maximum landing weight. And the maximum takeoff weight is actually well above the maximum landing weight. And this is zero fuel weight down here. It is kind of neat. So I've got your SimBrief. Everything is in there from SimBrief. I'm not going to import anything right now. A couple things I noticed that are neat though. You've got, if you're somebody who flies longer flights or lots of cruise stuff and you want to accelerate your sim rate, you can do it from the EFB. This is the first EFB that I'm aware of that you could do that from. So that was kind of cool. The other thing this aircraft always has had is a onboard checklist. So throw the battery on. Everything kind of comes to life. we're going to quickly go through our initialization. So we're going to system test, pre-flight. It's going to do a fire detection test. You get all the enunciators, master caution, master warning. It does a stick shaker. Co-pilot, pilot, and then tests all illuminations on switches. We're going to get all our speeds from the sim, so our V1, 109, VR, rotate 113, V2, 120. So it calculates all that for landing. We can calculate that later on when our fuel quantity has all been accepted. But so all our initializations are complete. Now we are going to go to our checklist. So one thing you can do, or you could do, I'm not sure if it's still functioning or not. Which one was it? I think it's that knob there. Let's try it. So battery is, oops. Oh wow, that's okay. We're gonna ignore that for the time being. So it is this one here. You can select up and down on your checklist by using I'm using a mouse with a roller wheel. So we got battery on. We're gonna check our oxygen is on and normal. Pressurization is set to normal. Basically, the checklist works from left to right. So pressurization is normal. Electrical on and normal, which is just down here. All electrical. Quickly get this out of the way. There's the cabin power here, which is caged. So if you don't have anybody back there, you don't really need to use it. ELT is set to normal. Nose wheel steering, right down here, is set to normal. Alternate gear release handle, stove fully in, it's right here. Parking brake is set, which is pulled up. Flaps are currently in the up position. Thrust levers are in cutoff. Speed brake is retracted, right down here, little knob. Ice protection, normal and off. Normal, normal. Windshield is off. Tail de-ice is in normal, all normal. Fuel panel is all set to normal, normal, normal. Trim panel, check set if normal. Trim on norm, norm, norm. Yeah. All looking good. Windshield heat panel set to normal. All pneumatics set to normal as well. Glare shield panel. All looks good. Chime, normal, dark. Avionics initialization is complete. We're going to go to the next checklist. So we're going to do a passenger briefing. We do not have any passengers currently. But this is the cabin. It is small. Obviously this is a light jet, similar to something like the Vision Jet, but you do have a lav. It does have this cute little porthole to the sky, I guess. Some additional lighting. This thing's pretty neat. Some storage underneath. So the 6 seats in the back, you've got 2, 4 kind of, I guess, executive seating. You've got a bench seat here, and you can seat in the lav. Each side does, in fact, have a foldable tray table, which is pretty cool. Both sides have it. There have been changes. I used to fly this a lot in 2020. And it was a great plane. Loved it. Actually, I put a ton of time on this plane. because it is, I think, one of the best jets in the sim. So passenger briefing, let's get back to the checklist. It's complete, rudder pedals adjusted. Can't actually adjust them. They are electronically adjusted forward and aft, but that's okay. The ones outside of the sim are adjusted. Seatbelt secure, doors closed. Parking brake is set. Cast messages reviewed. We've got no engine, hydraulics, generators. That's all good. Electronic volts 23.5 minimum. We've got 25. Engine start. So this thing is super easy to start. We're going to start the right engine first. So we're going to select right starter on. Once you're at N2 of 15%, you just click the click spot just underneath. And you watch ITTs rising. N2 continues to rise. Oil pressure, oil temperature. You see the fuel flows coming in. That's basically it. There's a good start on the right. We're going to do the same on the left. Left, roughly 15% on the N2. We're going to move it from the standard position here. Just click it forward. ITT rising, N2 rising. Oil pressure, oil temperature's coming up. Fuel flow is coming in. You see the cast messages all kind of come off. And a good start. Okay. Pulls back. Bring it to the cabin. Just get rid of that cast message. Oh, there's the cabin. Let's change to FMS. Active now. All right. So we have done engine start. Steer power not needed. Flight controls free and correct. All looks happy. Move this controller out of the way for a moment. All right, on to the next checklist. So wing anti-ice as required. Current outside air temp is -20. These are all auto, but I'm going to get the engine anti-ice to come on, because it is awfully cold here. Transponder. Go up here, set to 7,000. We're going to do the VFR. Alright, I believe you can also, so this one? Yeah, you can go through the checklist with this wheel. Flight ID confirmed, flight plan is entered, navigation source is set, altimeter is set. We're going to go... Okay. Flaps set for takeoff. Set them here, then takeoff approach. Good stuff. Speed brake check is retracted. You'll get a speed brake notification right here. It is setting to is retracted. Cabin science is required. Park brake released. And aircraft systems. This one, exterior lights, interior lights. So utilities. Minimum, I'm going to set this 300 barometric, enter. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next. So taxi. Park brake is released. Foot brake is on. Nose wheel steering. We're going to check. And flight instruments we're going to check. So we're going to get moving here. Now, this airport, the buildings are modeled. But the runway and taxiways are not. So if you were here on my last flight, where we brought the Starship in here, you would know that right now it is not modeled. So what we're going to do runway would be somewhere around here. My best guess. This is my best guess. Okay. So we're going to see if this works. I don't know if it will. Okay. Flaps are set. Trim. It's about 3.5 degrees. Nose up. Speed brakes retracted. No cast messages. Navigation mode is set. Flight guidance is set. Let's get our flight director on. Takeoff landing data. We've got that. Takeoff briefing. Well, takeoff briefing. We're gonna depart on this snowy field and see if we can't get airborne. Hopefully we make it. If not, we will try to brake on what remaining runway we have. If that is not achievable and we are airborne, we will fly straight ahead and look for the safest place to land, I guess. Radar as required. There. Ice protection as required. Okay. We're going to get push for takeoff, go around. We're going to see our flight direction is going to command 10 degrees nose up. We're going to set our heading mode. Alright. So we're going to apply full power. Fake brake. Okay, well, here we go. This is going to be bumpy. We're looking for around 110 knots. Okay. All right, so now we know. Let's try that again. Looks like there's quite a bit of snow here. No, Now, my estimation of where that runway actually began, probably not accurate. I believe what we hit was, in fact, the runway edge. So one thing I did notice when flying in was that you could just faintly see the runway markings. Okay. We're going to try this again. Full power. Okay. Landing gear coming up. So that is us in the air. Landing gear's up, yaw damper on. Flaps are up at 130. Thrust levers manual continuous. There we go. Flight guidance as required. Okay. So let's make a right-hand turn here. One thing I did let's see here. Let's get established. Up above these clouds a little. Let's get the autopilot on. We're going to flight level change, and let's throw the auto throttles on. So the auto throttle is going to pull us back to 110. And it's going to give us quite a climb rate. 25, 27, 3,000, 3,900. Alright, and we're in the climb. Flight guidance is good. Ice protection as required. Cabin signs. We don't have any indication of icing. So let's turn our engine icing off. We're not going to have to worry about transition altitude. We'll establish once we're in the climb. We're coming up on 13.5. And we're going to select FMS or nav mode on the autopilot. So once we do get on course here, we're going to start tracking our nav point. And as you can imagine, this thing is pretty quick. I believe flight level 410 it can achieve. 422 knots indicated true airspeed. Alright. There we go. And we'll be right back just a second here. All right. So we're well established in our cruise here. This one is an extremely easy flight, as we're basically shooting a straight line. It is point to point. All right. So we've got that descent. Well, let's get rid of our checklist here. Place it with a map. Go and weather. Oh, nope. I wanted me to do that. Go. Which one was it? Yeah, it's been a minute. I forget. Pain. That's touchpad. I just can't recall how to do the cross side unless... Okay. Kidding. I'm being a dummy. All right. So we've got our flight plan. It's pretty simple. Destination. Select arrival. We've got no arrivals. And an approach, ILS 34. But what are we looking at for? That's going to be fun. 8,600 feet, that's plenty to land. So we're going to do ILS or V4, transition. And okay. So it's got our VNAVs in there. Final approach fix, 1690. Make sure VNAV is active. It is enabled. FMS speed currently 270. Terminal. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to do ILS runway 34. Perfect, VNAV. Procedures. All right, that's our hold. Got all that in there. Apologize for if you can hear my dog. He wants to sit behind me and chat. So let's bring up the charts on this side. ILS 34. Chart options. Minimums. R40, 3/4 V1. So we'll leave it at 300. What do we got here? Localizer 1099. 341 course. Okay. All right. That's going to be our approach. Flight plan. See, what we should do is, this is where we're going to fly to. We're going to go direct to, there we go. There we go. Let's get rid of the Alright, so this is an easy flight, as I mentioned before. Can also pull up our nav graph here. And what's our destination again? I've already fought. Charlie Yankee Foxtrot Bravo. Charlie Yankee Foxtrot Bravo. ILS 34. There's our same charts. So that's pretty good. Do we have taxi charts? We sure do. Nice. Okay. That should stay there. We've got a nice little map there. Oh, what do we got? An island. It's always good to fly over top of a landmark if possible. Boy, she's not quiet though, I tell you what. I did see some pretty cool video, or actually it was a screenshot, I think, from Marwin, who said that when they were doing the release trailer and everything, there was an at-night shot of the exhaust out of the HondaJet. It was all purpley blue and everything. It looked very cool. Looked very cool. Apologies, had to replenish with some Monster. Apparently an ultraviolet Monster. Never had one of these ones before. So I'm going to activate RVNAV. See if it's going to give... It's not calculating a top of descent, which is interesting. But could be because I have our altitude sitting here, so... Let's do 1600. Does it calculate now? It does not. It's okay. That's alright. That's alright. So, what I need to do is... PFD settings. Sensors. Play around with all the good stuff. So I'm gonna and there we go. Home. Now that's such a loud switch. Okay. Overlays? No. Well, that's a new one. I'm going to have to try to figure that out. No. I cannot recall how to reset that. Let's do a quick Google. All right, so back, PFD settings. Map settings. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Charts. Interesting. Why can I not disable split screen mode? That's very annoying. Let's have a look. traffic there. And let's get back here. Let's have a look at our systems. Everything's looking good. All the lighting is automatic in here, which is kind of cool. Nice protection, looks good. Let's bring this controller over here. We've got no traffic, no nothing. That's all right. It's perfect. Crocky. Let's see here. I think there was some interesting airplane news, but I can't remember. Oh, yeah. United Airlines aircraft declared crime scene after live ammunition discovered in overhead bin. So I don't know how many people watching this might be take part in firing firearms and things like that. I'm a competitive shooter. I compete in IPSC as well as do some F-class stuff, but not enough. And I'm honestly not competitive enough compared to all the other guys out there. But there have been many times where I've had, been to the range, whatever, wearing a jacket, and for whatever reason it ends up put around in a pocket. And you don't think about it. You just throw it in there and go on. A couple weeks later, you throw the same jacket on, and you reach into that pocket and go, "Oh, oops! You've got a round in your pocket," which is not ideal, especially if you happen to be hopping on a plane. This article from Aero Explorer. United Airlines aircraft declared crime scene after live ammunition discovered in overhead bin. Newark. I guess authorities at Newark Liberty International Airport scrambled into action Tuesday afternoon following a chilling discovery that transformed a routine passenger flight into a federal investigation site. As of February 18th, 2026, law enforcement officials and Transportation Safety Administration, TSA, investigators are working to determine how a single live bullet ended up in an overhead compartment of a Boeing 737 preparing for departure. The aircraft, registered as November 37456, was scheduled to operate United Flight 1511 to Miami when the ammunition was spotted by crew members during the boarding process. The fine triggered an immediate crime scene designation, resulting in the grounding of the jet and a high-stakes security sweep that left passengers waiting on the tarmac for hours. So it looks like they brought in the K9 units. They had DHS there, TSA agents. Security personnel cleared the aircraft, which later departed for Miami. Despite the brief official statement, the atmosphere on the ground was far from simple. Passengers reportedly kept in the gated area while specialized teams conducted a nose-to-tail inspection of the cabin, cargo hold, and galley areas to ensure no other prohibited items were hidden aboard. Mystery of the missing magazine. A central mystery remains. How did a bullet bypass layers of multi-million-dollar imaging technology? Investigators' sources suggest the round may have fallen from a passenger's carry-on bag, potentially a forgotten item from a recent trip to the shooting range, a common excuse in TSA intercepts. However, because the aircraft was declared a formal crime scene, officials are reviewing CCTV footage from the gate and the aircraft's previous flight legs to identify who may have had access to that specific overhead bin. The incident follows a string of unusual finds at Newark, including a disassembled firearm discovered inside a Lego box in 2024 and a passenger caught attempting to smuggle 16 bullets wrapped in aluminum foil in March 2025. That's weird. Why would you... 16 bullets, but they weren't caught with a firearm. Odd. Very strange. But, I mean, a single round, like I said, like in a jacket pocket. I've had that happen. You know, you go to the range and you got something in your pocket, and you don't think about it, and oops. I mean, obviously, I'm very careful if I'm flying commercially or flying at all. What I have on my person. You can have, I believe, if you follow all the rules, you can transport ammunition on an airliner. It just has to be stored correctly and locked and all that good stuff. Same thing with a firearm. Lots of people do travel with firearms. I know the IPSC, international IPSC competitions, I think it was Sweden last year. I've never been to one of those. It'd be pretty cool, but competing already is expensive enough. I don't want to add flights and hotel and everything else associated with it, but it would be a fun experience, that's for sure. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Single round found an overhead bin, and that, yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of it, but obviously in a commercial airliner that can be bad. That can be very, very bad. Alright, my Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight is informing me of a low fuel situation. So, let's back here. Aircraft systems, let's have a look at our fuel. What do we got on board? We got 1,020 pounds, or actually 1,060 pounds, except this is not really usable. We've used 500 pounds. We got a distance of 103 nautical miles to go. It's roughly 20 minutes. Ground speed of 318. True airspeed 314, ground speed 318. So this is similar to the Vision Jet as far as lower flight level speeds. But this can get up higher and go faster. But when crossing water, you kind of want that altitude, right? You don't want to be close to it in case you have to deal with something. It's another one. There is an interesting approach I want to do. If you have Navigraph, you get monthly newsletters, and they have a challenging approach series. There's one called this month's challenging approach takes you from Honolulu to Kahului for the iconic smokestack visual to runway 02. Describes it looks like the relaxed island flying until rising terrain and precise visual cues demand real focus. The current AIRAC and Navigraph charts in the cockpit, you can brief it properly and fly it the way it's meant to be flown. Looks like you can pull it into SimBrief, which is should definitely give that a view the walkthrough. Looks like it could be a fun one. They've, I guess in that series, they've got 26 flights that they've done, which seems pretty cool. And where are we? GTC. Looks like there might be somebody right out there. Or it could just be a mark on the window. Looks more like a mark on the window. Zooming along. Oh, the bathroom. And 460, 460, total 960 pounds. 14 minutes to YEG. The HondaJet is, if it had a ballistic parachute, this thing would sell leaps and bounds better than I think the Vision Jet. But the Vision Jet, it's just got a whole bunch of stuff in it, right? You got now they've released their G3 version, although I don't really see that as an upgrade or anything really. I'm sure when they release the G3 Plus, it's going to have some additional features that people are after. But they didn't give it a gross weight increase or a range increase. It doesn't have any additional fuel. But they did get rid of the in-flight entertainment screen that can pop down, which is kind of unfortunate. But I do get it. That thing used to be popular in minivans, I guess in the 2000s, in-car entertainment systems with screens in the back of headrests and everything like that. But now with tablets and cell phones, they're almost a useless feature, especially because you've only got one screen. So if one occupant in the back wants to watch something, that's fine. If you've got two and they both want to watch something different or more, kind of pointless. So I do kind of get that. But they've added larger third row seats, claiming that you can carry adults in those versus children. I think the previous outboard seats were only rated for 70 pounds or 80 pounds or something like that. So I get the change that they did. It makes perfect sense. But it's kind of silly. Kind of silly to me because you can't really fill all the seats and have fuel. So if you if you can't fill the seats and fly, I feel like it's kind of pointless. Yeah, with no gross weight increase, no power increase, no fuel increase, just a configuration change, and to call it a G3. There might be some software changes, but I imagine the G3 Plus is going to add things like Starlink, which is now certified in some aircraft. I think the new, what is it called? Epic E1000AX has the first aircraft to be certified with the Starlink. That's one I really want to see the same. Lionheart's working on that one, and I definitely want to give that one a try. When that drops, that'll be a purchase for sure. It's one of those planes. It's got really good speed. It's right up there with the TBM. I think 333 knots true airspeed is what it's rated at. It can get into short fields. It can get into grass fields. You've got beta reverse thrust on a turboprop, which I don't know, something about it. It's something that I really love. Same thing with big jets. Having the thrust reversers somehow is a feature that I really drawn to, because it I don't know. It gives you that idea that somehow you can stop quicker when you land. In big jets, you can. It definitely shortens your stopping distance, but you're still needing big runways. The HondaJet, it is indicating my landing performance for this flight It's giving me a landing weight roughly 8,631 pounds. Landing flaps, max manual braking. There is no reversers. Let's see here. Wind is 330, 20. It's negative 29. Surface conditions are wet. So my landing performance, we've got a landing distance available 8,605 feet on runway 34. It's giving me a factored landing distance of 5,228 feet, which means I got 3,377 before the end of the runway. So more than adequate runway, but it's gonna the factor distance. So it says the actual distance is roughly 4237. That's max manual braking, and the HondaJet. I guess the Elite 2, which has the auto throttles. The other thing it has, let's see here. My understanding, it does have ground spoilers, which I believe are actually in between the body and the engine, right here and here. And then it does have a air brake right here as well. So those features do aid in a shorter landing distance, but 4,000 feet landing, I feel like, you know, in the PC-12, doing the same type of landing. One, you can come in slower. What is it giving me? Let's see if I can't do some calculations. Okay. And let's go to performance. Speed bugs. So approach speed is 116, VREF 111. So with the weight, we're down to 107 and 102. Gear can come down at 190, flaps 150, full flaps 107. Systems. Status. Things looking happy. Now I do wonder. Yeah, it won't because the performance data is not in there. That's unfortunate. But kind of expected. Okay, some wiggle waggle there. All right. 2:30 till Yankee Foxtrot Bravo YFB. There we are. Kind of funny talking about the Epic E1000. It looks like the depiction is an Epic E1000 on the chart. So we're going to come over top the runway. So we're doing our procedural turn. Just going to come out and around. We're going to come in. There we go. Waiting for that VNAV capture. Okay, we've got the path. There we go. All right, we've got VNAV 2100. Got path waiting. Start making the next turn. I'm anticipating to see our throttles come back quite a bit. However, we're not seeing it. So we'll go flight level change. We've got auto throttle managing our descent speed. And we're coming in quite nicely. Let's just pull back and utilities. Not the one. No. Systems. Nope. I guess it is. Visualizations. Speed bugs. Get from sim. Let's get our speed bugs on. There we go. Runway should be somewhere in this vicinity over here. See when we get a little closer. Ice protection not active. So we've detected ice. And let's on this one here. Let's get our checklist. Approach. Checklists. Sent. That's good, good, good. Next. Passenger briefing. Complete. Cabin science fine. Avionics are set. Landing data is confirmed. Gas message. Approach briefing. So dropping down. We're on our vertical path. Well, let's get our gear coming down.
$2,000.
Flaps coming in.
Autopilot.
Approach.
Autopilot.
There's that funny. I can see the runway straight ahead here. We're in at full flaps. Dealing with some fun wind.
$1,000.
1,000 feet to go. Let's get a yaw damper off. A little low. Got our auto throttles managing the speed.
$500.
Auto throttles are off.
$400.
It's been a minute since I landed the HondaJet, so let's see how this goes.
$300.
21, 25 knot headwind I'm flying into right now. So minimums.
200.
Let's get back on that power.
100.
Oh, that's very gusty. My goodness.
20, 10,
Throttle's
5,
full. This runway looks like it's made of hills. Alright, flaps up. Let's exit the runway. All done. Alright, let's go through after landing checklist. Cabin signs are good. Engine anti-ice can come off. Speed brake is retractive flaps up. Trims in the green. And they are. Alright. And let's have back here. Pull up our charts. No. One too far over. Info. Okay. Go head over. Off a large airport. Let's head over to one of these Canadian North hangars. Alright. Park brake is set. And let's get our checklist up here again. Go down, right down to after landing shutdown, park brake is set. Wheel chocks. We can set those. Ground services, chocks. Engine anti-ice off, external power side thrust levers are to cut off. So to shut down the engines. There's the right. There's the left. Okay. Parking brake can be released. And we're going to go battery off. All shut down. And we have made it. So that completes leg 6 of our flight here. Got some windmilling going on. Let's get the engine covers on. Got a pitot and AOA covers on. It is a little unfortunate with the baggage compartment doors being accessible. You can carry quite a bit of cargo in this. There it is. Let's close up the door here. No. Okay. There is the HondaJet. It does everything well. I'm curious to know what my actual landing roll was, but because I'm not on PC, it doesn't have that kind of information. But here we go. The HondaJet. Alright, well thank you everybody for joining me on this leg, and we will catch you on the next one.